morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
Which is not to be confused with Courtney, we're excited to have Courtney here today. I'm particularly excited. We've been dying to get Courtney, who's actually our producer for the morning show and the voice of the Stahls TV blog as well, onto a live class and bring her in front of the camera. And so today's topic I thought would be perfect. So Courtney, thanks for joining me today.
And I want to thank you for having me. It's kind of neat to be behind the scenes for so long and to step up, kind of see what the hosts are doing, and participate.
Yeah, so you're finding out our job's a lot easier than you thought it was.
I wouldn't say that.
But today's discussion mainly, and the reason we brought Courtney on, is to talk a lot about Instagram, and we're going to talk about ways that you can use it to grow your business. Before we dive into that, we'd like to talk a little bit about things we're seeing in the industry and some news, and particularly ASI published their impression study, which they do every year, and they talk about impressions and things that you can get from selling promotional products. And I think it's really important for decorators to take a look at this study and understand what products are selling the best, because what we often find is that if you're selling t-shirts to a company for a promotional event or bags to a company, if they're not getting a return on those items because maybe they weren't the right promotional item for that event, they're likely not going to come back to you to print those items, or they may not think it was a worthwhile investment for them. So we want to give them products that they think are relevant.
Absolutely, and this ASI impressions study is very, very interesting when it comes to promotional products, because it outlines one of the key points in here, which I think is usefulness. So the usefulness of the item is actually really key here when you're giving away promotional products. And that being said, USBs, items such as umbrellas, but maybe not so much T-shirts, even though obviously everybody wears one. They're not as useful as something such as a USB or a bag.
Yeah, and so T-shirts, we always start there because that's what a lot of us decorate, and we found that, or the study found that 58% of U.S. consumers own promotional T-shirts, which was pretty interesting. The Midwest region had the highest recall, but they found that while there's a high recall rate for T-shirts, obviously the wide use of them and the availability of the number of T-shirts people print or have, they don't have the highest number of impressions. They were actually 5th out of the top 5 promotional products for impressions.
And I think that's a good point, but even though the impressions are low, the number of T-shirts that are out there are high. So if you are giving these away, it's nice to know that at least the numbers are on your side in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the one that actually found the most number of impressions, which I guess shouldn't be surprising if you've ever attended a trade show or an event and gotten a promotional product, but it was bags. So bags generated more impressions than any other U.S. promotional item, which was 5,700 times what any other promotional product. So it was a pretty interesting number for impressions. Outerwear and fleece, keeping with usefulness. 50% of U.S. consumers own promotional outerwear and fleece. And outerwear is obviously expensive to print, but it has the highest recall rate for any other promotional product and leaves a high impression because of that.
Yeah, and going back to bags just a little bit, I think that our viewers are just a little bit afraid of printing them because of items in the bag, such as pockets, seams, zippers. But using Stahls TV as a resource to find out how to print these bags is going to be helpful for you, because it's a low cost to get bags.
Absolutely.
And a very good, like you said, a very good return on impression.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bags you can purchase that are pretty inexpensive, so they're an easy item to decorate for sure. One that I found, again, that a lot of people stay away from because it's hard to decorate, but, well, they think they're hard to decorate. They're actually incredibly easy to decorate. But it leads back to usefulness, and that was umbrellas. What's more useful, really, than having an umbrella with the company's logo on it?
And having them in your car,
yeah,
too,
absolutely,
instead of just in your house.
Yeah, so I'm known for keeping about 6 of them here in my office and not a one in my car. So when it rains, it really works out well as long as I'm here at the office and not in my car. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and umbrellas are really big at not just everyday use, but at sporting events too. So are umbrella hats on that list?
They're not. Umbrella hats did not make the list, at least not specifically, but hats are on here.
Great. Yeah.
So headwear was definitely on here. 41% of U.S. consumers own promotional caps and headwear. They made 3,136 U.S. impressions, so they were actually another one of those for having a high number of impressions, because people, again, want to wear hats and use a lot of them.
They definitely do.
So it's a pretty interesting study. If you take a look at it at the ASI.com, they've just published that study there. It's just their 2016 impression study. You can see the full 40-page breakdown of exactly what items work well for your specific region or your area. And then keeping with just some surveys and statistics, I'm going to switch over to my computer screen because Printwear Magazine actually launched their sublimation report in April, which they do often, but the report specifically dials in a lot into sublimation and what you can do with sublimation in your business. But one thing I thought was pretty cool on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see here, it talks about the top niche markets for selling people sublimation. And so some products include things that are really popular for promotional products and different things. There were cutting boards, baking pans, neoprene items, koozies, coasters, Christmas items. And then looking at the niche markets, it really dove into promotional products, which was one of the things we just talked about with USB items and being able to print them, churches, infant clothing, craft shows. So those are some big opportunities.
They are, and these are a lot of subjects that we actually touch on the morning show in the craft market and the promotional products.
Yeah, absolutely. And so those are some growth opportunities in niche markets. I really think that all decorators, I specifically talk a lot about sportswear and spiritwear, but those are some opportunities that really are presenting themselves in decorated apparel.
They are.
And so keeping that in mind, I want to switch gears real quick before we jump into our main discussion on Instagram, which we have a lot of cool tips and things to share there. We have another exciting thing on this morning's morning show. So Courtney and I switched it up a little bit without Josh and Zach being here.
We did.
And we brought 2 extra participants, or Stahls TV educators, into the morning show for our viewer's choice. So we'll pan over now to Jenna and Jimmy, and we're going to be featuring a viewer's choice episode here on the morning show where Jenna or Jimmy are going to print a look that you're looking for. And so it's going to be one of our new metallic finishes from Stahls. So I'll let them go ahead and talk a little bit about what they're going to show us later in the episode, and then you'll get to vote on what look you want to see specifically later today. So Jenna, you want to go ahead and kick us off?
Yeah, I'll get us started. So today I'm going to be showing you a really unique product that CAD-CUT just launched. It's called CAD-CUT Glaze, and I'm really excited to show you this unique material. It is a metallic finish, but it also changes its color based off of the type of garment you're applying it to. So I'm going to be printing this on a light pink shirt and show you a really neat tonal effect.
And if I win, I'm going to be heat applying the new foil adhesive from Stahls. It's available in 7 different colors. We have some gold here today, and basically it allows you to achieve the screen printed foil look with just your heat press and a vinyl cutter.
Cool, so some pretty good ideas there from Jenna and Jimmy. We'll go ahead and launch the poll now, so if you guys want to vote on what look you'd like to see later in our viewer's choice, it's going to be either CAD-CUT Glaze, which is the new transparent color shifting metallic product from Stahls, or the CAD-CUT adhesive with the foil, which will be the product Jimmy will be showing us. So if you guys want to go ahead and chime in on that poll now, later today we'll go ahead and produce those results.
And I just want to let our viewers know, apparently we're experiencing some internet difficulties, so you're seeing some lag and some distortion on your video. So apparently there's a little bit of trouble with our upload here right now, but this show will be recorded and will be available on Stahls TV later this week.
All right, so we'll go ahead and close that poll down. And then we'll share those results with you guys a little bit later, so you're going to have to stick around through the Instagram conversation, which I think will be really valuable for all of you guys. And then we'll print your top look over at the heat press as well. And so,
and I will say that these looks are very exciting for me to just see as I'm in Stahls and seeing things come out. These 2 are something absolutely innovative and new. And both of the gold looks are one of my personal favorites. I actually wrote a blog post going for the gold, if you guys can look on the blog.
Yeah, so it's some pretty cool products. I personally have some trouble deciding on which one I like better, so I think it'll be cool to see what our viewers think. I know we've been hashing them out on Facebook and Instagram and seeing which ones customers like better, and we're seeing mixed results, so it'll be cool to see what our viewers think for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's dive in and talk a little bit about Instagram. So it's an exciting topic. I brought Courtney onto the morning show this morning to help me talk about it a little bit. But Instagram is really giving a lot of growth for all businesses and all users, and specifically in decorated apparel. There's no better way to show your products than with a picture-based social media system. So Instagram is pretty cool for that.
Yeah, and I will say Instagram is my favorite of the social media websites. I like it because it shows pictures, it's quick and to the point, and it gives viewers a look at your business in kind of a snapshot. So I think it's important to update our viewers on everything that's going on Instagram. If you don't have one yet, why you should get one, and just basic tips.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Instagram traditionally has been popular among the group of, they say 18 to 34, but traditionally it goes back as low as 14 years of age, upwards of 34. The younger, what they consider millennial generation, is really who's adopting this.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to continue to see, just like we saw with Facebook, a larger adoption, especially now that Facebook owns Instagram, where a lot of even adults are going to be using Instagram more and more. And so if you're selling decorated apparel to specifically the younger market, where you're selling to schools or spirit wear, camp wear, this is really a great platform. This is where you should be showing them your products, because this is where they're seeing products in real life and where they're sharing with the brands that they're using.
And I think it's really important to have personal interaction with your clients as well, just being able to see what they're doing, what they're wearing, for one, and also being able to have them share your looks and your shirts within that demographic. So if there's a cheer squad you just printed for, I'm sure that they're going to be posting on their Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're just getting started with Instagram, there's some ways to dive in and get started. One tip is obviously to connect your other social media channels. So if you're using Facebook or Twitter, you definitely want to let your followers on those platforms know that you're also on Instagram, and they should follow you there for different content and different ideas. Maybe you're sharing tips, maybe you're sharing new packages, maybe you're going to do flash sales and giveaways, and we'll talk about a little bit about some different things you can share as well. But obviously letting people know it's available through social media, through email, through other marketing techniques. Those are some tips as well.
And I think showing different content is key. If you are on Instagram, you know that there are 4 social media sharing buttons within your photo when you're posting it, so you can get that content from Instagram, instantly post it to Facebook and Twitter with just 2 extra clicks of a button.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's important to keep maybe your Facebook exclusive for some content, and share your Instagram with all of your social media sites to link them.
Yeah, and so one thing that we're seeing a lot of people do, and I think is really successful in gaining more followers, is to run contests. And so I'll switch over to my screen to show one example of a contest we saw from a spirit wear company that's really successful. Varsity Spirit does a lot with cheer and dance, and so their Varsity Fashions, which is a separate Instagram account that they run, actually does a lot of really cool contests. And so it's a pretty neat idea that they have here, specifically to getting more followers and tagging more people in the comments.
Yeah, and I think the photo right here is really important, because it has the name of the contest right on the top, and no guessing what you have to do to enter into it. So follow and tag, and that's a return on your end, because you are getting followers and more people are being able to see your products with those tags.
Absolutely. And so if you're going to run a contest, this is a great example of being able to put the details in the image that people are quickly scrolling past, and keeping it short and simple so they can get the idea of the contest and move on. It's not just putting all the details in the description of your post. So that's a great example, I think, as well. Looking at some other examples of content that people share, I'm going to switch over to another example from Varsity Spirit that I think is really important when we're starting to look at what content you should be sharing, or what you should be asking the people that follow you to do. And that is really looking at sharing content of people wearing your products and at your events. And so Varsity Spirit does this very well. They reshare pictures from other users. They just show their products in real life from everyday consumers, and not just model shots from their photo shoot. This is a pretty good example from Villanova Cheer that actually shows them resharing their picture, showing their uniforms.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example for those 2 key points. The first being showing these items not just on models, but on the real people that you are printing to, and that reposting. So reposting is really good to do, because you can get kind of a return on showing this, because if you were sharing something from another viewer or another Instagram user, then they will probably want to share back. And you can use this, I can't really talk much on Android, but I can talk on iPhone, that you can get the Regram app. It's just Instagram Regram. You type it in the App Store, and it makes this process super simple.
Yeah, and so it allows you just to kind of encourage your people that are buying your products or wearing your products to show your products to their friends, which then gets you an increased word of mouth. It allows you to repost it, so you're really giving them some additional benefits of being able to see or your users to be able to see the product on other people rather than the models.
Yeah, or just the blank garment shots.
Yeah, and every time you ask somebody to share a post, make sure you're liking them and you're commenting them and thanking them for sharing it, or really just engaging with them more and becoming more of a friend rather than just someone who sells personalized apparel to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so those are some good ideas. Looking at also and just showing products that to your customers and how they were made. And so I'll look at another example that I thought was really cool from TK Screen Printing. And so TK Screen Printing is just a screen printing company that's on Instagram. They have a good bit of followers, but the company actually shows how products are made. And so I want to show this one post that was actually a video, which increases just the just shows kind of the liveliness and how products are made. And so it shows them quickly screen printing a t-shirt. They've got some other videos where they're showing the product coming out of the dryer. And so it's just a really cool way to show people the effort that goes into their items and really how the personalization, especially if you're customizing it for one customer,
Yeah.
and how that happens.
Yeah, could you imagine being the owner of Lovely Yoga and seeing your shirt up there? I think it gives it, number one, a really real feeling where you see that this person does put a lot of care and effort into it. And number two, sharing those videos gives you, up to 15 seconds of photo time,
Right.
basically. So it's more interactive, and it shows you the process.
Yeah, and so the
It's
videos
great.
are also a cool process, but I love being able just to share with people, here's how it was made, and here's, even with heat printing, there's just so many cool ways to be able to show that. Another way to take people behind the scenes, I'll show a quick example from 4Imprint, but we see a lot of customers sharing images from trade shows or events, setting up for maybe a on-site printing at a volleyball tournament, and just letting people know where you're at and that you're active, and just seeing a different side of your business outside of printing items inside your production shop or finished garment shots, just kind of varying the content and letting them know where you're at and all of that as well.
And I will say that if you do own a business and a business Instagram, that you should keep it very business on that. And while doing behind the scene on trade shows, how to print is very interesting for your viewers. You might not want to show them, a picture of your latest casserole recipe.
So I should take the casserole pictures off of our Instagram. Okay.
I would say
Good.
Stahls TV.
I thought at
doesn't
some
need
point
any
you would bring
casserole
that up.
images.
So yeah, so follow Stahls TV if you like casseroles or decorated apparel on
Absolutely.
Instagram. No, I promise I'll keep those pictures off.
And the linked accounts makes it really easy because Courtney K can have casserole pictures on her Instagram,
Yeah.
while Stahls TV, with just a click of the button, you can go to Stahls TV now, and it's really nice that they link the accounts.
And that's important
Finally.
for keeping the content separate. So you can
Separate,
post
yep.
your casserole pictures on your personal page, but on your
Keep
business
Printing
page,
Apparel
you
goes
want
to
to keep
Stahls TV.
absolutely.
Yep.
So you want to keep the two separate. It's always important for that as well. And so also keeping in mind another post that we like. We'll share one more example coming from GTM Sportswear. And so obviously we want to sell some product on Instagram. That
We
makes
do.
sense. We're not going to just show pictures of how things are made. We want to show them when products are new. I personally follow a lot of brands because I want to see products when they're new. And so we'll flip over to this example from GTM. It kind of just shows a really cool photo of here's what's new. It's this reversible uniform for cheerleading or dancing, and then or gymnastics, and then you can kind of show them what's coming up.
Yeah, seeing this photo, the thing that I really am drawn to is the picture itself, and I can tell that this was created in a Photoshop or an Adobe, but beyond that, it's just important to know the dimensions that your photos should be posted in. So ideal dimensions here would be 1024 by 1024 pixels if you are in one of those programs, but also just turning on the square photo on your phone will be able to integrate into Instagram.
Yeah, that way they're cropped the right way and you got the perfect image. But I think the brightness of that photo really makes it stand out too. So that's another cool
Absolutely.
thing about photography with Instagram.
Yeah, the pop is it's very important because all of the top people on Instagram do say that those first 3 pictures are going to determine whether your users follow you or not.
Yeah, so bright colors obviously bring in a little bit more.
Bright colors do, yeah, and good content, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And so think about that when you're putting together what you want to share. Is it going to be tips? Is it going to be trends? Is it going to be new products? And then not last, I guess it should be foremost, I want to talk a lot and give our viewers some tips on hashtags. So hashtags
Yes.
are the part of Instagram that basically makes Instagram what it is.
Yeah, it is definitely
And so
the core.
when we look at gaining followers, that's what you really want to focus on is which hashtags do I use? Do I want to use hashtag I love printing t-shirts because it's fun? although I do, it's probably not the right hashtag I want to use for my post. So what are some
Right.
tips we can give our viewers there?
Well, I have a few here. The first being when you are hashtagging, there is a 30 hashtag, I say, rule. Instagram only allows you to do up to 30. So my main tip is the first two, keep it business related. The first being your full username, so hashtag StahllsTV for us. And then the second being something that users would know you more intimately by, so hashtag STV, which would be our shortened version of our name here. So the other 28 hashtags are really up to you, and I really want to make this easy for you. Post items that relate to the customers that you want to get. So maybe not just doing hashtag CAD-CUT Glitter Flake, even though we love when you share hashtag CAD-CUT Glitter Flake, but also what would you use that for? So maybe hashtag spirit wear, hashtag cheerleading, and if there's an event coming up, be able to hashtag that event. So those first two hashtags that relate to your name are going to be in the main description. Everything below that, I would post in a comment. And that way you can edit it, change it out, just in case an event's going on that you want to market towards.
Yeah, so that's a great point as well. And hashtags don't have to be intimidating on which post should I do. Just think
Right.
about which customers are you looking to get. So if you're posting a design that's specifically for school spirit wear, then you should be tagging maybe the school that you're selling to. You should be tagging spirit wear, so people that you want to see that specific tag. And our social media manager, Danielle, actually shared a tip where she uses a tool called Gramma. So it's just an app you could then download on the App Store, and that will allow you to choose hashtags that are relevant to your post specifically. And so that was a nice tip from Danielle as well. And so some other things with just crafting post, obviously using the notes area of if you have an iPhone, so crafting Instagram post can be challenging. You may notice that you see posts that you really love that have some great paragraphing and spacing to them. Those are traditionally done outside of Instagram, and there's some tips for that. Using the Notes app is really one that we use often.
So when you see, I say 30 hashtags, and you're like, oh man, I have to post 30 every single time. Well, if you do use that notes function, you'll be able to even categorize. So if you do a picture of spirit wear, you'll be able to have those 28 hashtags already laid out and ready to go. And if you know that you might want to come back and post an event, instead of having to delete that, you can just leave space. So using the Notes app, just simple copy, paste, and you're done.
Yep, that's a great tip as well. Anytime we can copy and paste, I'm all over it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Joe, we had some questions come in, I think, from our audience through the discussion here.
Yes, Karen would like to know what's the best way to select a winner when you run a contest on Instagram?
As far as selecting a winner, just depends on the type of contest that you're running. If it's going to be through comments or if it's going to be through likes. Usually it's done through random selection from the people that are commenting or liking your post.
Yeah, and if it's something along the lines of a actual contest where they're submitting their photos, you would probably just pick the best one.
Yep, so you just want to make sure those rules are clear in your guidelines on how you're going to be selecting them. Any other questions, Joe?
Okay, and from the T-shirt lady, she's just asking if you could review again the app that you were just talking about with the hashtags.
Yeah, so the app for the hashtags was Gramma, Grama was it inside the App Store where you can download that for the hashtags. Okay, cool. So we got all the questions. Before we head away, I do want to take a quick moment to look at some Instagrams that we think here at Stahls TV that you should be following to stay up to date. So one is going to be the Stahls TV Instagram. And so just keep in mind, we share some inspiration, tips, education. We update you whenever we have a new live class, some new looks that we did in live class, and just some ideas on apparel trends. So that's at Stahls TV for that one. Stahls has their own Instagram, which you also should be following just to get some tips on new products from Stahls and new ways to print with your heat press. So that's definitely one as well. And then likewise, Transfer Express also has their own Instagram. And so all of us share different content, and all of it's valuable to your business. So they also share some that's specific to screen printed transfers and using those types of transfers to grow your business. And so some pretty cool Instagrams there. I tend to think so.
Absolutely. Those three are pretty tops.
Absolutely. And so I think it's time now to announce the winner of our viewer's choice. And so the reason we actually brought Jimmy and Jenna on here today is this week we have some exciting stuff going on at Stahls TV. One of those is that we're launching a new video series called Project Press It on the site. So starting Thursday, yeah, so every Thursday, starting on Thursdays, and Courtney, it's the other reason we brought her on here, since she's the head of the blog. We're going to be sharing a new video on the Stahls TV blog, basically to inspire you for the week or the weekend, just to start giving you some new, completely out of the box ideas on how you can grow your business with heat applied graphics in your heat press. So
yeah, and those will be up every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe to the blog. There's just a little button on the left hand side, and you'll be able to get those updates every Thursday for the new videos.
Yeah, so pretty exciting, and Jenna and Jimmy are going to be helpful for that, and they've already done some videos for us, so we'll be sharing out shortly. So Joe, who's the winner of our, or what are the results for our poll there for viewer's choice?
Okay, so on the viewer choice, we have 54% for the CAD-CUT glaze with Jenna, and unfortunately 46% for our CAD-CUT adhesive and foil with Jimmy. So
Wow.
Jenna will be the
I
winner
mean, that
today.
was pretty close.
Our viewers are just as torn about these metallic products as we are.
yeah.
So I'm going to head over to the heat press with Jenna, and we'll go ahead and start your application there. All right, Jenna, so you've talked a little bit about CAD-CUT glaze as we got started here. What are some of the real benefits for decorators of this specific product?
Well, not only does it give it a really neat special effect finish, but it's really great for being able to print on polyester designs. So this material will actually apply at 265 degrees. 100% poly t-shirts, even tri-blends are really popular. So it's great for that. So we can go anywhere between 8 seconds and 10 seconds at 265.
Awesome. And so the low temperature with this CAD-CUT glaze is really one of the big selling points, because now it's a metallic product onto sportswear. And so the color shifting of it is pretty neat. So the color that you're actually decorating is a gold shift on the neon pink material. And so what's going to happen is it's just going to create a really cool tonal effect. Obviously, if I put that same gold color on a dark black, it's going to be a really bold metallic print, but this kind of gives it some ways to shift it.
Yeah.
And so one thing I always tell decorators is, you know, to find the colors that you think works best with it, and then show those options to your customers. So maybe a tonal print on a pink or a blue, and then maybe some bold prints on a black shirt.
Right, yeah.
So it's a cold peel there, so it looks like it's probably about cooled down. Nice application there, and it's got some nice soft stretch to it as well, so that's going to be cool for the sportswear application. But this gives you an idea of some of the tonal effects we're able to really pick up with the CAD-CUT glaze on the product. And so we'll be showing a lot more videos on Stahls TV, as well as here at the morning show showing the glaze. And although the adhesive lost, we'll find a way to bring the CAD-CUT adhesive and Jimmy back into the morning show as well, to feature that to you guys that wanted to see that, since it was so incredibly close with 54% versus I think 46% or something to that effect. My math is working perfect on this Monday morning. So I'm going to head back over to the table with Courtney. Thank you, Jenna, very much for that, and for our viewers for picking the one you guys wanted to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when our viewers get a say in what they see in the morning show.
Yeah, and it helps give us an idea of what you guys think's really selling, or what you guys really want to see. It's interesting though, because you guys are all torn just as much as we are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. So we have some exciting things, like I said, going on here at Stahls TV. Obviously, we're excited about Project Press It, but next Monday we've got some exciting stuff going on as well.
We do. It is our Stahls TV launch event. So instead of our normal morning show, you'll still be tuning in at 11 o'clock, but it's going to be a 3 to 4 hour long broadcast of an unveiling of a really exciting product that I will not mention.
Yeah, so we're launching a new product. So if you have a vinyl cutter or you use heat transfer vinyl at all in your business, you need to attend this event. It's going to launch a new product that's really going to help just completely change the way you produce products with that material. And then also there's some new products that we're going to be showing. The adhesive will be shown, CAD-CUT glaze, and the event is 4 hours long, but you can tune in any time throughout the event. We're actually going to run this continuous demonstrations on the new product throughout. So if you can't make it at 11, you got to tune in at 12, you can do that. Likewise, if you want to come at 11 and leave at 11:30 after you see the demo of the new product, you could do so as well. So it helps kind of just fit into your Monday morning schedule in a variety of ways.
Yeah, you can do the normal 30 minutes for the morning show, or you can go beyond that, but there will be definitely interesting demos throughout.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. So we'll all be there. We're looking forward to seeing you guys at the launch event next week, but thanks for joining us for the morning show today.
We'll see you next week.